Hi everyone, this is Lad with LongRangeOnly.com, and in this video we're going to review the Zeiss V8 North American. And this is their flagship model, the 4.8 to 35 by 60 with a 34mm main tube. I first put my eyes on this scope back at the 2025 Hunt Expo in Salt Lake City. A couple months later, Jeff Brozovich with LongRangeOnly.com gave me a call and asked me if I'd do a review on this scope, and of course I said yes. I mounted it on my brand new Snowy Mountain Rifles 7 PRC. This is their first in-house manufactured action with their in-house manufactured barrel. I took this rifle to South Africa, to the Eastern Cape, where I took 6 animals: a kudu, an eland, a fallow deer, a nyala, a mountain reed buck, and an impala. I'm excited to talk about this scope today and share with you my thoughts. If you're a long-range shooter that likes to ring steel out past 1,000 yards or more, or if you're a hunter that is looking for a premium optic with great glass that's crisp and clear and bright at all times of the day, especially in the morning and in the late evening, at dusk, then stay tuned, because this scope might check all your boxes. First, let's talk specs. The Zeiss V8 North American is designed for hunters and shooters wanting long distance precision. With a magnification range of 4.8 to 35, a massive 60mm objective lens, and a 34mm main tube, this scope is built to be crisp, clear, and bright. It features Zeiss's shot glass, boasting 92% light transmission for bright, crisp, clear images, even in low light. So what is it like to use a scope like this and to look through a scope like this? One of the first things I remember when I picked this scope up at the 2025 Hunt Expo was how bright and crisp and clear the image was. Even in South Africa, when I took 3 of the animals at dusk, the image just popped. It pulls in light, the color is, it stands out, and there's no issues with this at any times of the day. The glass on this scope is nothing but amazing. Probably one of the best scopes I've used and looked through. I wish I could show you what this image looked like, and maybe I'll get some footage in here, but it's amazing. It's hard to tell on camera too, I'm sure, but it's in short amazing. Another awesome feature on this scope is the eye relief here at the eye box. Zeiss claims that it's about 4 inches of eye relief, and I think they're right. About right here I start to get black around the edges, but right here it's perfect. When I was in South Africa, we were hunting kudu that night, and we set up on this field, and the kudu came in just before dusk, and there was 3 or 4 big bulls. It was during the rut, and my PH said, set up on that one right there. And so I did. It was about a 465-yard shot, and I was shooting kneeling with this tripod, and the bull turned and walked away from me, and the PH, Ethan, said, shoot that one to the left. And so I moved it to the left and got on him, and he turned and walked away from me. And then he said, shoot the one to the right. And so I moved to the right, and just as I was about to squeeze, that bull turned. And then the tracker said, go to the first one, go to the first one. And so Ethan says, go to the first one. He turned broadside, was quartering away just slightly, and I got on him with this perfect eye box here and put one right in the crease. And the PH, Ethan, and the tracker, Winky, they just took off running. And I got up and like, oh my gosh, I must have missed or something. And they got to the edge of the trees where we were, and then they turned around gave me that sign. And we went over there just as it was getting dark to take pictures. I'll show you the pictures at dark. But without this eye relief here, this eye box, and at dusk, it might not have happened for me. But I was setting up on those 3 or 4 bulls and just going back and forth. And then finally the shot came and the bull went about 30 yards into the thicker brush off of the field. Now let's talk about the turrets on this scope. The elevation turret is just about as good as you can get, with very clear audible clicks in quarter MOA per click. This scope is an MOA scope that's not available in mil. It's specific for North American hunters, which most of us hunters use MOA. But listen to the clicks. They feel good and they sound good. And this has a 0 stop, and it's a solid hard stop, and so it's a return to 0 right on 0. You hear that? Perfect. Great elevation turret on this scope, which Zeiss is known for their elevation turrets. This turret's not much different than their other scopes. The windage turret is capped, which is a little different than their past offerings. This one has a cap to protect the windage turret. If you're hunting with a scabbard or going through some thick stuff, you don't want to get your windage turret adjusted without you knowing. Pull the cap off. It's just a small, simple windage turret that you can turn. It's got not as audible clicks, but there is some. Listen to this. But it's a simple adjusting windage turret where you pull out and turn it and then put it back. It just simply does that. Pull out, it works off of a spring, pull out, put it to 0 after you adjust it, and set it. And then put the windage cap back on, just like that. But really good elevation turret, a decent windage turret, but capped, which is what most people want in the West, especially if you're hunting off horseback. I've had a scope while I was hunting in Wyoming, pull it out of the scabbard, and it was off by quite a ways. I didn't check it, and I shot an antelope. The elevation was great, but the windage was off, and I didn't hit him where I wanted to. That was kind of a rodeo, but that was a good lesson learned. Always check your windage turret, but when it's capped, you don't have to. Well, let's talk about the reticle and the illumination that's on this scope, the controls. The reticle is new for Zeiss. I'll put a picture here on the screen so that you can see it, but it's simple. It's easy to use. This scope is only available in second focal plane, so it's perfect for long-range shooting if that's the style of hunting that you like. But it's second focal plane, and the illumination on it is turned on. Right here is the power button. Okay, you can turn it on. And the only illumination on this reticle is the center dot. That's it. You can adjust the dot. You can adjust the power of the illumination right here by turning this knob on the top. Easy. And when you put the rifle in the upright position, it automatically turns off after a certain amount of time. But when it's horizontally like this, it will stay on, but it will turn itself off over a good amount of time to save the battery. But when you're ready and you want to turn it off, just push the power button, hold it down, and it's off. Really good illumination, really good reticle on this scope. Okay, now we're going to talk about the parallax adjustment. Is right here on this side of the scope. One of the greatest features that I like on this scope is it has, on this particular model, the 4.8 to 35 by 60, it has a detent at 300 yards. So I know without looking at the numbers on the side of this where 300 is. Right there. And then if I want to go, if the distance is further, I know I can adjust it this way. If it's closer, there's 300 again, I can turn it this way. Get that parallax perfect. But right here at 300, that's a great feature. I don't know any other scope that has that. And so that's one of the features that I like the most about this scope. I mean, it's simple and it's not a huge deal, but the little things matter. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons of this scope. Let's start with the pros. First and foremost, obviously, is the glass. Zeiss is known for great glass. This scope is no exception. This glass is exceptional. It's amazing, bright, crisp, and clear. This 60mm objective lens, it gathers light and is quite a bit above all the other scopes that I have in the safe. So first and foremost, that's pro number one. Pro number two would be the eye box here. It's forgiving. It's got a lot of distance between the ocular lens and your eye. There's a lot of eye relief. The adjustment on the diopter here is fast and quick. I wear contacts, sometimes I don't wear contacts, and this is a breeze to adjust. The next pro would be the illuminated center dot. It's small, but it's very noticeable. It doesn't glare like some illuminated reticles. It just shows exactly what you need when you're shooting at an animal at low light. The 34mm main tube on here is another pro. It helps gather the light so that you can see through this scope at low light, early morning or late. The parallax adjustment with this 300-yard detent, about the best I've seen. I love it. The battery is underneath the cap on this parallax knob, but it's awesome. The elevation turret also is a pro with crisp, clear little notches or detents. As you turn it, the zero stop is perfect. It stops right where you need it at zero. And those are the pros of this scope. The cons of this scope, there's only a few. I would say first and foremost is the windage turret. The capped windage turret is great, so I could say the cap is a pro, but this windage turret is a con. It's not my favorite. It just seems like it's an afterthought, but it could be better. I would challenge the Zeiss engineers to come up with a better windage knob on this scope, especially since this is a second focal plane reticle. Using the reticle for your MOA is difficult. You know, on 35 power is where you would use it, or at half of that to make your adjustments. A lot of people use the reticle for their windage holdovers, but I don't. I use the windage turret. and I feel like it still works, and I used it on every animal in South Africa, but it just feels like it could be pushed off zero easily just by, since you just pull it out and twist it to make the adjustment. It's that easy, which is a pro, but it, you know, you could get it off zero easily. But for those that use the reticle for windage, no problem, no problem at all. But I think this windage turret could be better. Last thing on this is the location of the illumination, the power on and the power of the illuminated dot right here. Not a big deal, but what I found was if I want to use my trigger cam to get footage through the scope, whether for this video or for my hunt in South Africa, it will fit right here, but that puts that trigger cam right, you know, gives me about 1.5 inch eye relief, and that's not going to work. So I couldn't use the trigger cam at all. So I think this could be better located somewhere else, maybe over on the Parallax where other scope manufacturers put it, and where Zeiss has it on some of their other scopes. But right here is a con to me, just because it limits you on what you're going to use to film through the scope if you're into that. But that's it. It's a great scope. Many pros versus the cons. I would recommend this scope to anybody because it's an awesome scope. I guess you could say the last con on this could be the price. It's right around $4,000, but if you're in that price range looking at other scopes that are similar in that price range, I would choose this one over the others just because of the pros. I mean, the glass, the 60mm objective and everything, just it outshines the other scopes, the other competition. And that's really what you want as a hunter, long-range shooter. You want a bright, crisp, clear image so that you can take a nice, clean, ethical shot at an animal at distance, or if you're shooting long range, 1,000 yards or more, this scope is the best, I think, in that price range. So the question is who is this scope for? If you're a hunter or a long-range shooter that's shooting beyond 600 yards, maybe past 1,000 yards at steel, and you demand precision, quality optics, then this scope is for you. This scope is German engineered and designed and built in Germany with premium shot glass. So it's second to none, in my opinion. It's perfect. The glass and the picture is amazing. So you can't go wrong. So this scope is for hunters, whether you're a long-range shooter or not. This glass is great. The light that this gathers will help you in the mornings and in the evenings on those last light situations. And so don't discount this scope, even though it's high priced, but it's priced that much because it's worth it, to be honest. And going up against other scopes in this price range, this will beat it. I'll be honest, this is great glass and you can't go wrong. Okay, that's my take on the Zeiss V8 North American, the 4.8 to 35 by 60. It's a great scope. I love it. I think you would too. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and then subscribe. Also hit the notification so that you're notified when future videos are released, like the video review that's coming soon for this Snowy Mountain Rifles, the new F22R Action and their new in-house carbon wrap barrels. The Action is also made in-house. It's a great rifle. I've had it for several months now. Took it to South Africa. Of course, you know that, you saw that in the video. Anyways, that video is going to come out soon, so you can check that out, but you might miss it if you don't hit the notification button. If you have any questions or comments about the Zeiss V8 North American, there's a thread on longrangeonly.com where you can join in a conversation, ask any questions that you have. If I've missed something that you wanted to know, you could ask it there. if you've used this scope before and you have any comments that you can add to the conversation, you can add it to the thread there. Subscriptions to Long Range Only are free. It's easy to join. There are many wonderful and terrific members there that have a wealth of knowledge that you can also tap into, from reloading to load development to setting up your rifle to hunting to gear. So much you can get off of that website if you don't already know that. So jump on over there and subscribe and join in the conversation. That's about all I have for today. Check out our future videos. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day.